Hey guys, Total War Gamer here, and today I'll be starting a Mountain Blade Warband campaign. So we are going to start off, we are going to be a man. You were born years ago in a land far away. Your father was a hunter. You were the son of a family who lived off the woods, doing whatever they needed to make ends meet. Hunting, woodcutting, making arrows, even a spot at poaching whenever things got tight. Winter was never a good time for your family, as the cold took animal and people alike. But you always lived to see another dawn, though your brothers and sisters might not be so fortunate. You started to learn about the world almost as soon as you could walk and talk. You spent your early life as a page at a nobleman's court. As a boy growing out of childhood, you were sent to live in the court of one of the nobles of the land. There, your first lessons were in humility, as you waited upon the lords and ladies of the household, but from their chess games, their gossip, even the poetry of great deeds and courtly love, you began to learn about the adult world of conflict and competition. You also learned from rough games with the other children, who battered at each other with sticks in imitation of their elders' swords. Then, as a young adult, life changed all its depths. You became a troubadour. Though the distinction felt sudden to you, somewhere along the way you had become a man, and the whole world seemed to change around you. You settled on your own world, nothing except the instruments slung over your back and your own voice. It was a poor existence, with many a hungry night, when people failed to appreciate your play. But you managed to survive on your music alone. As the years went by, you became adept at playing the drunken crowds in your taverns, and even better at talking anyone out of anything you wanted. But soon everything changed, and when you decided to strike out on your own as an adventurer, what made you take this decision was personal revenge. Only you know exactly what caused you to give up your old life and become an adventurer. Still, it was not a difficult choice to leave with the rage burning brightly in your heart. You wanted vengeance. You wanted justice. What was done to you cannot be undone, and those debts can only be paid in blood. Become an adventurer and ride to your destiny. Okay, so we have the game's saving policy, realistic, no quitting without saving. So here are the attributes. We have strength, that's like for weapons, agility, which is for like horseback, intelligence, which is for medicine skills and stuff, and then we have charisma, which is for leadership. We're going to get charisma up to 10 and agility up to 10. We're going to put 1 point into leadership, which lets us lead more men in our army. We're going to get iron flesh, which increases our health, so we're up to 51 health, I should say. And we're going to get our one-handed skill up to 80. Our archery up to 70. And we'll put 1 more into one-handed. And our name shall be Ragnar. Done. What weapons? We have a crossbow and a sword. Okay. Done. You hear about Calradia, a land torn between rival kingdoms battling each other for supremacy, a haven for knights and mercenaries, cutthroats and adventurers, all willing to risk their lives in pursuit of fortune, power, or glory. In this land, which holds great dangers and even greater opportunities, you believe you may leave your past behind and start a new life. You feel that finally you hold the key of your destiny in your hands, free to choose as you will, and that whatever course you take, great adventures will await you. Drawn by the stories you hear about Calradian's kingdoms, you join a caravan to Shiraz in the Saradin Sultanate. You came with the caravan, crossing the great desert to the east of Calradia. The Bedouin guides chose your route carefully, leapfrogging through treacherous dune fields and across empty gravel plains to low-lying oases, rich with orchards and date palms. Your great fear was that the caravan might lose its way and perish of thirst. The small bands of raiders who hovered just out of bow shot, waiting to pick off stragglers, were oddly a comfort. At least water could be no more than a day's ride away. It was a great relief when the mountains came into view, and on the evening of the following day you crested a rocky path, and in the distance could make out the sea and the towers of Shiraz silhouetted against the sunset. You are exhausted by the time you find the inn at Shiraz and fall asleep quickly. However, you awake before dawn and are eager to explore your surroundings. You venture out onto the streets, which are still deserted. All of a sudden you hear a sound that stands the hairs of your neck on end, the rasp of a blade sliding from its scabbard. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is go into the options, go to controls. Since I don't have a mouse, I can't scroll, so we'll just make that E. Right, so we're gonna go into first person here, get out my crossbow. You guys might hear some background noise. There's some people outside of my house. I don't know why. Get up this way. This guy's... Feels really tough. Okay, so we've increased our proficiency 1-handed weapons to 82, and we killed that bandit and got 80 experience. Merchant of Shrews. Are you alright? Well, I guess you're alive anyway. I'm not sure that we can say the same for the other fellow. That's one less thief to trouble our streets at night, although heavens knows he won't be the last. Anyway, maybe you could help me with something. Let's talk more inside. Out here, we don't know who's listening. The merchant takes you to his house. Once inside, he stands by the door for a while, checking the street, and then finally convinced you have not been followed, comes near to you to speak. Now, let me explain my proposition. We've always had brigands in the hills, driven to banditry by war, debt, or love of violence. Recently, however, they've been getting bolder, leaving their camps in the wild and venturing into town looking for unmarried prey. The watch commander tells us it's because of all the fighting on the frontiers, fearing to keep an eye on the streets. I'm not sure what to make of that. It seems to me that the most logical explanation is that the bandits have an ally inside the walls who helps them enter unnoticed and helps identify particularly tempting targets. Last week, you see, they took my brother. I don't know what my brother was thinking. A lad from a prominent house out alone after dark in times like these. Well, I suppose you were too, but you're a stranger here, and I didn't know how bad things have become. He had no such excuse, but he's family, so what can you do? If you don't protect your kin, then people will start thinking that you can't protect your investments either, and I can't have that. No doubt the gang will soon send word about a ransom, but I don't care to pay it. So here's my proposition. You look like you've had a bit of experience with the blade, and more importantly, you must have a bit of fire in your belly, or you wouldn't be coming to Calradia to seek your fortune. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Gather a small party, track down these bandits to their lair, teach them a lesson and they won't forget, and get my brother back to safe. And in return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude and a bit of silver. What do you say? I am interested. You won't be able to do this by yourself, though. If you try and take on the whole gang single-handedly, the hunter will become the hunted. I'll warrant. You'll first want to round up a group of volunteers. There's always a few lads in the villages around here looking for a bit of work. That's more interesting than tilling the soil or hauling water. They'll follow you if you pay. So take this purse of 100 dinars. Consider it an advance on your reward. Go round to the villages and use the money to hire some help. I'll reckon that you need at least 5 men to take on these bandits. Very good, sir. Collect some men from around the villages. Good. You can find me again in the tavern here in Shariz. After you've got your group together, then we'll speak about what we do next. Okay. Yes, I know. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go into our inventory. So what we have is we have a very good body armor to start off with. A sturdy tabard, though it's nowhere near the best, but it's actually really good to start off with. 15 to body armor and 7 to leg armor. Then we have some rugged leather boots, which have 14 to leg armor. We have a suede back saddle horse, a rusty sword, bolts, and a hunting crossbow. And we have some swordfish. Your party, they have to have food every night. And if you food, your people become unhappy. Okay, so first what we're going to do is go to Hawaha. Yes, I know. Go to Hawaha. There's our guy moving. Let's see, it doesn't look like there's any bandits around. The village of Hawaha appears to be thriving. The palm groves and orchards are humming with activity. Farmers call to each other cheerfully from the tops of the trees and so on. We're going to get volunteers. No one wants to join our party. Okay, so we're going to leave. We're going to go... Oh, we are out of time for this episode, guys. I will see you all next time. Comment, subscribe, like if you enjoyed.